Is Anakin returning for the Rise of Skywalker as a Force Ghost? That is the headline on today's Force Friday show.
Yes, Stephen, indeed. Will Hayden Christensen's Force Ghost ever real appearance appear in the upcoming Rise of Skywalker? Well, Stephen, if you are to believe the Daily Express, and I don't know their credentials or whether they have contacts who would know these sort of details, but if you are to believe them, then there has been a huge hint dropped that Anakin will indeed be appearing in the Rise of Skywalker. What is this huge hint, I hear you ask, if you are watching this? Well, he appeared at the Galaxy's Edge Disneyland theme park, Stephen, building his own lightsaber. He was snapped in front of, I believe, the Millennium Falcon and a whole array of other, obviously, park exhibitions or whatever. And that got the mechanical little rumour mill whizzing in people's minds, and they put two together and came up with 50. What I will say though, Stephen, is they did take down photographs initially. I think it was the Star Wars official feed and maybe Disney.
Yeah.
They were hammering people sharing these photographs. Then later on, they subsequently shared the same photographs. So that gets the suspicions going a little bit that perhaps they're trying to cover something up here. Do you think this is, once again, the fandom and the Daily Express reading way too much into things?
I don't think Hayden and Lucasfilm are communicating well at the moment because, as we know, he seems to be going off doing things that he probably shouldn't be doing. Him and Ian McDiarmid appeared at some...
it was a panel.
Panel. Yeah,
fan expo.
Yeah, and I don't think Lucasfilm knew anything about it, and they were obviously told they shouldn't be doing that, so that started up the rumour mill. This looks like the fella's just having a trip to Disneyland and is getting some photos taken in some familiar surroundings. Certainly the Millennium Falcon cockpit wasn't a familiar surrounding for Anakin Skywalker, but for Hayden Christensen it was. And yeah, it looked like he was having a good time, John, building lightsabers, etc. I take it that must be one of the sort of activities that you can do at the theme park.
It is, I've watched an array of
interesting.
videos.
As long as they give you one of those little compasses to build your lightsaber, just like they did with Luke in Return of the Jedi deleted scene.
Yeah, I remember them
I don't know, John. It seems very suspicious that they would pull it and then they would upload them later on, as if when they pulled them they had to have a board discussion what to do with these photographs, and then they decided to put them back on. It just adds to the speculation, this kind of nonsense. I would have just left them up and ignored the speculation. If he's going to return, if you're giving me a percentage, John, I think it's probably maybe a 50-50. I don't think, as much as I would like to see him return in some sort of form, some kind of ghost army, very similar to Lord of the Rings, I don't think J.J. Abrams is up for that kind of thing. I've got a sneaky suspicion that this final film is going to be heavily focused on the new three, and obviously Rey, Finn and Poe, which he always said from the very beginning that's what the focus of this trilogy was going to be, although we were hoping for more of the original characters to have more prominent roles. Sadly it's not to be, so I don't know, I don't think so. You know, Anakin's connection is through Luke. He didn't have the connection through Leia, who's going to be appearing briefly in the film. Luke's a Force Ghost himself, so it's kind of sort of third-hand information. It's like bringing Qui-Gon back now. It's why, you know, as much as I would love to see some sort of... I would love to have seen, you know, the character... It'd probably be very cheesy, but, you know, a Force Ghost Anakin fighting a Force Ghost, you know, Palpatine. It's too cheesy. I don't think it's... I just don't know, because there seems to be a lot of things happening in the background with Hayden Christensen. I was about to say Anakin, and a lot of the things.
At least you didn't say Christian Hayden, Steve. That's some unfortunate chat.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I'm sort of thinking there's a 50-50 chance, is because Lucasfilm are being very cagey about the whole thing rather than just ignore it.
Stephen, I sincerely hope he does come back for the Rise of Skywalker. JJ has been quoted at some point in the, I can't even remember how far back it was, past, indeterminate past if you'd like, as saying that this final movie would be tying in all elements of the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga,
Yeah.
the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and obviously the sequel trilogy. Combine it all into one big melting pot and giving us a fulfilling, emotional and aesthetic finale, if you'd like. And one way to do that would be to bring back Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, of course. If indeed the rumours are true that Rey has perhaps been buffed through the Force, or she has some connection to the Emperor, he has been being the puppet master, if you like, changing things or maybe cloning her. Much like, I think it was confirmed in the canon, he did the same with Anakin. He created Anakin, he willed him or created him through the Force or something. I can't recall the exact thing. It was confirmed in a canon comic that was indeed how Anakin came to be. That would be a nice way to connect those two characters. And now look, I've seen some leaked stuff about the Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to openly admit it. I don't know if I want to spoil it in case it is true, but there's heavy rumours that Rey's going to pick up a certain name which has lots of history. It's steeped in the saga, and there's no reason why she can't do that, because Anakin Skywalker was buffed through the Force. I just gave it away incidentally, so that was ridiculous. I was dancing around. He was buffed through the Force, he didn't have a father. There was no real previous lineage, unless you count Shmi Skywalker. Nobody does, she's shite.
But that was her surname.
Yeah, that was her surname, so yeah, I'm dancing myself into a goddamn rabbit hole again. But there's been previous. He was buffed from the Force, he's a Skywalker. She could take that and say, I've been buffed via a similar sort of a vein as Anakin Skywalker, and that could be a way to bring Hayden Christensen into this movie. Another way could be that she is indeed tempted with the dark side. The Emperor obviously manipulates her, master manipulator that Ian McDiarmid, aka Sheev Palpatine, is. Maybe she is ready to go over, and then Anakin comes in and saves the day. He says, look, I have danced this bloody path or whatever before I went down it.
John,
you can. There's another option. Don't do it, and then he brings her back to the light.
Can I ask you a question?
With Luke,
prior to the first trailer coming out for this film, what was your feeling on that laugh at the very end of that trailer? Were you excited for his return, or were you like, why are they doing this?
A combination of the two, Stephen. I always like to see Ian McDiarmid coming back as the Emperor. He was one of my favourite things in the prequels. One of my favourite characters of all time, antagonistic wise. He was just a great villain. So there's always that excitement to see him, but at the same time, I'm conflicted because I didn't want it to shit upon the original trilogy. That great ending we got in The Return of a Jedi, that great arc of Anakin Skywalker, which is expanded out now with the prequel trilogy. Him coming from innocent little guy, manipulated by this arch-evil villain, falls to the darkness, try to protect the ones he loves. Then he's redeemed at the end by throwing his arch-nemesis manipulator over that ledge or balcony or whatever the hell it was in the Death Star.
Here's another one.
If you destroy that legacy, then it's not on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Another question.
Yes.
Do you think it was a plan all along to bring him back?
I don't, Stephen. I don't think it was a plan. No. Disney and I think JJ says that it has been the plan all along. I don't think they've officially says that, but some unofficial leaks or sources came out and says that it was always the plan they had in mind to bring Sheev back. I think it's a panic move. I think they've seen the criticism, the fractious nature of the fan base after The Last Jedi, and they're essentially shitting themselves.
I'm still intrigued to find out what Adam Driver's talking about, though, that he was given a piece of information.
What, Kill the Past?
Back in 2015, or it would have been before that, when they were actually in the production of The Force Awakens, where J.J. Abrams gave him a piece of and focus on this throughout this journey, because it's going to obviously make sense at the end. I'm desperate to know what that part was about. If it was about Palpatine, then fair enough, but we'll probably not know that till early next year when the film's out and all the actors can talk about this kind of thing. Adam Driver will hopefully reveal the thing he was told all those years ago.
Well, Stephen, I recall speaking about that previously, quite a while back now, and at the time I compared it to also Alan Rickman in the Severus Snape role, where he was given one word always. Obviously, it was expanded out more. J.K. Rowling explained what the meaning behind that word was, and that allowed him to build the character, and it really personified the character, if you like. That was that one little information allowed him to craft and take the character on the journey it subsequently went on. Now, if this one word that obviously Adam Driver's been given about Kylo Ren and his journey is half as poignant as that, and it has half the meaning, then I'm sure it will be magical for that guy. I mean, he's such a great actor. And if this has really framed him and helped him channel emotions and make this character what it is, he's one of my favourite characters in the sequel trilogy, Kylo Ren and Ben Solo. I think he's probably the most rounded. He's been through the longest and the hardest journey. He's done some evil and deep shit, but you can see he's a really conflicted guy. So if it's half as poignant as what Severus Snape had with that one word, obviously with Alan Rickman, then I hope that it all plays out well.
Yeah.
And I've not
We
shit
kind of
upon
went
that
off
as
on a
well.
tangent there, John.
We
But
did, yes,
we were
that's all
talking
good.
about Hayden Christensen's return to obviously the franchise. But yeah, I'm 50-50 just now.
I'm probably less than that, Stephen. I'd give it a 30% chance. I just don't see how you fit all these characters in now. Also get Richard E. Grant, Kerry Russell, Dominic Monaghan, a whole host of people in there. Billy D. Williams has came back. We've got the new gang, if you like. Obviously Poe, Finn and Ray, Stephen, and how you would combine all of them together and make it coherent and just, I don't know, organic. I don't think it would work. So 30% for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, we'll move on that note, Stephen, because there's been a lot of things happening, shall we say. And the next topic is all about one Ewan McGregor, our very own Stephen, speaking about coming back to portray Obi-Wan Kenobi and the secrecy surrounding this announcement, how he had to keep it under wraps and how it was very awkward for him. He's been doing the rounds on a whole host of late night shows, obviously for Dr. Sleep, the press junket for that.
Yeah.
And he's been, I think, speaking to Jimmy Kimmel, and he was on Ellen DeGeneres, but this is not Ellen DeGeneres.
No,
I've not seen this one. I've seen the Kimmel one.
It's exactly the same, John.
Yeah, it's strange.
Same conversation.
Yeah, he says that essentially it's awkward. The studio and the franchises, they want to keep everything totally secret, of course, which I understand. But as a person being asked over and over again, would you do it again? I'm already talking to them about it, but I can't say that I am. He goes on to say, paraphrasing heavily here, that I think that it was making him look bad. Because it was making him look as though he was really desperate.
Yeah,
and Disney may have been looking to recast the role.
Yeah, it was very ironic, John, that's right. Also, caught people speculating who could replace him as well, which he found very funny because he couldn't actually come out and say, it's going to be me. It's just one of those things, you know. I think because of the development, we had found out during the week that this was actually originally going to be a standalone movie, and what they've done is they've took the concept of it and storyline and broke it down into episodic parts, which I'm kind of concerned about, because if that's their intention, is it only going to be one series? I hope not. You were worried about this as well, John, and all. You mentioned it last week on the Force Friday show. But yeah, going back to the interview, it must be absolutely hell for actors when they know they've got all the pieces of information inside their head and they know the questions are going to get asked. This is what makes them actors, and very good actor that he is that they've got to prepare mentally for the question without looking suspicious. Yeah. I remember I was interviewed in a hotel room about a couple of years ago, and I was asked that same question, and in hindsight you can say, you're just effing lying, Ian. You know, you can tell you're lying through your big shiny white teeth, and it's just so obvious now, but at the time you're just thinking, he looks awkward just now. He just looks like he's tired of that line of questioning, and I just wouldn't like to be in that position. Mark Hamill is the absolute master of these questions.
Shiny white teeth is what I took from that, Stephen. Your big shiny white teeth.
He's and it's amazingly white
teeth. It's like Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
He has got incredible teeth and quite a wide grin. So yeah,
Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, he is like a Cheshire Cat, Stephen. Look, I'm just glad to see the guys coming back and portraying this character. This is what they perhaps should have done in the 90s with obviously the original OG gang. Yeah. But they dropped the ball. They were potentially dropping the ball in fans' minds when we had this movie announced.
They dropped the Death Star.
Yeah, they dropped the Death Star, yes. We had obviously news of a director coming in to do this movie. Then it was cancelled abruptly after the shit show essentially that was a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Bob Iger stepped in, he slowed the process down, they disbanded the standalone journey, if you like. And then we were all like, Jesus Christ, we were getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, now it's not happening. But now we subsequently know there was obviously that plot in the works, it was set in stone, if you like, and then they could then condense that and break it up, subcompartmentalise it into various different episodes in a TV show. So there was nothing to worry about in hindsight. But you're right about Ewan. He's just a fantastic actor, and he utilised all of that fantastic acting ability to the absolute main, fobbing off all of those questions time and time again. But one thing I can take from it is I'm just happy to see him coming back. I cannot wait to see the TV show.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what you mentioned, Stephen, this talk of it being taken from that one movie and being split up, and then it's just going to be a one and done TV show or series.
It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to what's going to happen, John. But
no, it does obviously depend on how much they can
or obviously the rating
expand
and
it out,
how it's received as well.
There is not a chance in God's green earth this TV show will not be magnificent. With him coming back, it was the standout with Ian McDiarmid, perhaps even Christopher Lee in the sequel, prequel trilogy, got there in the end. And it would be an absolute borderline disaster if it wasn't to a success with him coming back. But look, I've not got much more to add, Steve. It's a very short and sweet topic. It's all about Ewan being a lying little shit, other than to perhaps go off on a tangent and speak about his accent, which is very interesting. Or perhaps we can go and speak about his Uncle Dennis potentially being confirmed for the Rise of Skywalker. Or is he? That was in the pipeline to be a headline.
It was going to be the main headline, John, until we realised there wasn't any confirmation. And the reason for that is because it was mostly based on this book. I can't remember the title of it, but it's obviously the lead up to the Rise of Skywalker. And we know Wedge Antilles is going to be returning in the book, but as far as the actor goes, we're not sure yet. I don't think it's been confirmed. Certainly nothing on IMDb. So
we've got some other guys on there.
Yeah, that doesn't go for anything because as we know, obviously Han Solo was on IMDb for The Last Jedi, which obviously
he could have been impossible. There. Could have been in the shadows like Scott Lang, Stephen, a little miniaturised version of Han. That's not how the Force works. But yeah, not much more to add, and I think we'll move on to the final topic on the show, Stephen. On that note, it is the Mandalorian trailer reveals it's connected to the classic Star Wars movies. And now this doesn't seem like much of a story. No. It's essentially just an excuse for us to talk about the Mandalorian and the trailer, because you obviously haven't had a chance to speak about that.
I watched it, John, but I watched your reaction as well. It was a good show.
Well, thank you very much.
I think obviously there was a lot to obviously take in. And that you did it in one shot as well, which I was very impressed about. Was
not with this show.
There was things after my second viewing of this trailer that I did pick up, which sort of ties in with the article, and that is obviously a couple of the ships were very prequel-esque. I think they were some of the sort of fighter sort of ships. You know, the yellow one, the sort of chrome yellow thing we got in the Phantom Menace. There was some kind of similar design in that trailer, and also
was that the Jedi Starfighter ship? I think it was Anakin.
Yep, it was the one the one he accidentally flew and blew up everything accidentally. Yeah, just pressing some buttons. The other thing was that creature, kind of rhino-esque creature, that looked very familiar. That looked like the creature that was in the arena in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
the one that
on Geonosis.
I think Obi-Wan is on the back of with chains. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that him? It's a terrible CG, as I recall.
I think it was, because his arms were chained throughout that sequence, and then they get freed. It
might have been the one Anakin actually tames with the Force. He kind of calms it down. I'm not sure.
But I'm
pretty sure its horn was cut off with a lightsaber. But it looked very similar. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, and it's good to see that they're not ignoring the prequels. That was the most important thing. Like it or not, they are part of the story, John. They are part of canon. So, taken away from obviously the story and the delivery of the story as well. The story actually was okay in the prequels. It wasn't that. It was the delivery. Obviously, the execution was the bad thing, and obviously the CG's aged terribly. But it's good to see they're using the technology from that era. They're using the creatures from that era as well. So I think it ties in nicely, and it's not something that's too obvious. It's all background sort of dressing, so why not?
Yes, Stephen, it's absolutely interesting when you look at the article to see that there is, I think, droid gunships in there. We actually have a battle droid in the background as well, which I completely missed. Can't lie.
I didn't see that, no.
Yeah, there it's there in the actual photograph. That's quite interesting. Okay. I think that may be a flashback to, obviously, the Mandalorian. Maybe that could be his parents, and that's them escaping with him and obviously their arms.
Makes
and then
sense,
we see a brief flashback.
Because we know the droids were deactivated after Order 66.
Yeah, Order 66, yeah. So that could be showing his harsh upbringing, what shaped him into this lone gunslinger that we see today. And it'd be just neat, again, to tie in the prequel trilogy. It seems to be coming back into vogue, if you'd like. Yeah. It was shat upon from a great height for many, many years. Yeah. And it's nice to see that people are starting to appreciate some of the elements, at least, if not Jar Jar Binks and obviously Ahmed Best. He's still very much in that trash heap for the prequel. But those, you're right. I was
going to say, John, I know it's going back to the previous article, just when you mentioned Jar Jar there, did you like the story between Ewan McGregor and Ahmed Best with the woman Shatner book? I thought I was in tears with that. Absolutely.
What was it called again? Get a Life, yeah.
Anyway,
that was great. Yeah, that perhaps explain why Ahmed Best was able to deliver such a great, some would say hammy performance.
Yeah.
Obviously you're taking inspiration from the Shat. Look, I'm completely jesting, I love Shatner, James Tiberius Kirk and all that jazz. I'm a big fan of the original Star Trek series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a neat little story. It was again showing that Ewan McGregor had seen just what the fan base can do. It can be uplifting and really change you in some way. But look, that's another topic, another story.
Yeah.
It's just neat, Stephen, to see that Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni and all the gang
The other thing I liked,
tying
John,
various things in.
was we got to hear his voice as well at the very end.
We did,
Very
yes.
cool voice as well. Good effect on his voice.
Yes, he has, Stephen.
Beneath that mask, so I liked that.
He's a great actor, and it's
And
just...
some of the fighting sequences as well shows you what he's capable of as well, which I liked.
And it was tying back into something straight out of the original trilogy, Stephen, when he obviously fights that alien bounty hunter, I want to say, and it's hand-to-hand melee. It was almost like the Tusken Raider and Luke sequence on Tatooine. Not as good, but it was that visual.
Yeah.
It had similar aesthetics to the original
Right,
trilogy.
yeah.
So they're combining all these different things. And it looks visually like it's from the original trilogy, but the fact that we are flinging in some prequel elements in there as well, very neat. And with it being set between, I believe, The Return of the Jedi and obviously The Force Awakens, that's what makes it strange to me that we are seeing some of these battle droids, and it's why I would then say that it's perhaps a prequel part of the story, if you'd like. And it's going to be good to see this character getting fleshed out in any way and shape or form that we can get, because he seems like such an interesting chap. There was talk that there's going to be a Titanic spoiler or reveal in the very first episode. I don't know what that could be. Could it be that he is perhaps killed off Boba Fett once and for all? We don't need Boba Fett. We've got the Mandalorian, the real Mandalorian, not this shyster stealing the armour and the helmet and obviously kidding on, he's a Mandalorian. I don't know. Stephen, what's your thoughts finally though? Because I'm giving away here, as I always do on a Friday show. And it's surviving on 6 hours sleep, so it's a miracle I've not made a complete arse of it yet. What is your thoughts overall? Or some would say I have if you get to see behind the scenes. What's your thoughts overall, Stephen, on the release date? The fact that we are essentially having to wait until May next year. I know we've spoke about this previously, but finally, having seen this final trailer, the anticipatory juices are flowing ever more for everyone who's lucky enough to
there's three options,
get their hands
John.
on it.
There's three options. You can either wait, that's one. Number two, move to America. Or number three, watch it illegally.
I'd love to move to America.
That is your choices. It's either be patient, move to the US, or find it on one of these streaming sites you see online. I don't know.
Well, Stephen, I'd love to move to the US, but for one, I don't want to get shot.
No.
I don't like their gun laws.
No.
The fact you can go and pick guns up in the same aisle as like milk and stuff like that. Not for me.
Feelings,
and chlorinated chicken.
My feelings, John, that might be coming our way soon anyway.
Fructose as well.
Is that that's your choices. Unfortunately, in this country, we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait for, obviously, to get it official over here. That is, it's just unfortunate. This is something that's been planned for the last few years now, and I don't know. I don't know why why there's an issue. Well, I do know why there's an issue. There's a certain person that controls the media here.
They've got deals with Sky in place until April next year, and they then fall back.
These must have been deals that were maybe done 3, 4, 5 years ago then, John. That's all I can think of.
They do, I recall reading it, they do several deals all over the place before Disney Plus, and they were quite lucrative. I think it was $800 million to $1 billion annually for each country where they do these deals. And they're just staggering. The way they're falling, obviously they're ending the deals.
They seem to, what they don't get though, John, is that we live in an age now where the world's connected, and we're going to have to avoid social media if we're going down the official route.
There's no way I'm going down the official route for this, not a chance.
As I said, we live in Aberdeen if anyone's looking for us.
Yes.
I think we're going to have to watch all the people we love on YouTube and watch them, rave about episode per episode, because obviously we know that it's going to be a breakdown of
Stephen,
one a week.
We actually stay in California, so we're getting it.
Yeah,
we're getting
okay.
It. We're just whining away here to try and portray ourselves.
Yeah,
as
I mean it's the situation, John. But I think we've known this for the last 4 or 5 months now, and you've just got to accept it. Unfortunately, it's just one of these things that not a lot we can do about it. So it's either that or stay off YouTube for the next 6 months until we get it, and then we can, obviously backdate all the, shows that we watched talking about it, and we can enjoy what they're saying. it's just the way it is, unfortunately, but it's very frustrating.
Yes, Stephen, final thing I'll add is I just cannot wait. That's the final thing I'll add. I says it previously in my trailer reaction. I've says it ad nauseum over the last few weeks and months. Cannot wait to see this show. It's going to be magnificent. It's a sort of a standard bearer for this medium for Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hope it's a huge success. I think it will be. The fact they've already green-lit a second season would perhaps suggest that it's already a monumental success. They know what they've got in their hands.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, after I've seen it, the breakdown of which episodes are directed by who, which ones are the Dave Filoni, which ones are the Bryce Dallas Howard, and so on and so forth. Taika Waititi did one.
Yeah.
You have that Asian director, female, who is obviously now doing all of the Obi-Wan season or show. So it'll be interesting to look on and see which ones had their hands on it and who's perhaps got a future in Star Wars, directing movies and perhaps further TV shows in the future. But look, we are not getting it officially until next year, so I think that will be the last. We'll be speaking about The Mandalorian because, of course, we don't want to out ourselves as illegal pirates, but Disney, he's killing us here. And on that note, I think we will end the show, Stephen, by saying, what the hell did you guys make of the array of topics we spoke about on the show today? If you've got anything to say about them, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Me and Stephen will be back again on Monday with another episode of Movie News.